Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about temptations, tests, and trials. We all go through them, and we're going to look at them from a different perspective because these are the things that shape our journey. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, this video is for you. Did you know that spiritual growth and training parallels physical strength training? Let me show you how. As a personal trainer, I like to see the parallels and things between my spiritual life and my physical fitness life. James 1:2-4 reminds us, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet various trials, because we know these trials produce," and it goes through a whole list. Basically, they produce our character. I'm sure we've all faced situations where it felt like the weight we were trying to carry was just weighing down on us like a barbell on our shoulders when we're ready to do squats. But let's say the max you can handle carrying is 120 pounds, and God has this 160-pound task for you. How do you get there? How do you get to a point where you can walk tall and graceful under 160 pounds? If all you can lift right now is 120. Same way you do in the gym. You build over time through training. And our training ground is our trials, our tests, and our temptations. I like to lift weights. So leg pressing, I can currently leg press 450 pounds. Let's say I want to leg press 650 pounds. I can't go to the gym later today and throw on an extra 200 pounds and press it. I might manage to get a rep out, but in the process, I'm going to risk damaging my knees, tearing ligaments, pulling muscles. That'll put me out of the game for a much longer time, right? So for those that lift weights, what do I need to do? I need to gradually increase my leg press and my weight training for my legs over time to go from 450 to 650. That means I'm going to add small amounts of weight until I can comfortably push them, and then I'll add a little bit more and a little bit more until I hit my goal before I set a new goal. Well, God does the same thing with us in our spiritual training. He puts us in that wilderness. It's our training ground, and He allows, He permits. He does not author or create the tests and trials that come. He allows them to come so we can grow our spiritual muscles. Every time we successfully handle that situation, we're moving up a weight class. So let's say you're in your wilderness and you hear that one of your best friends is gossiping about you. She's talking about you. You know, he's been running his mouth to people, and you're hurt and you're angry. So how do you handle it? You have two options. One, you can get mad and you can go tell that person what you think, and you can set the record straight and you can end that friendship. Or you can stop and you can ask God what to do. You can look at what His Word says about turning the other cheek, about blessing those who persecute you, and choose to obey it and keep your mouth shut. Let God handle it. Now, in the first scenario of how you handle it, you just failed the challenge, and you're going to stay in the weight class you're in. That would be like me going to the gym and adding 50 pounds to my 450, making it 500, and I can't move it. I failed that challenge, and I have to stay where I'm at, or at least back down some. So you're going to stay where you're at. But if you go to God, you just successfully pushed that extra 10, 15 pounds and moved up in weights to 130, 135. So you're a little bit closer to the goal God has for you and to getting to the other side of that wilderness each time you handle a trial or a test the way God would have you handle them. Our trials are not punishment. They are meant to prepare us for a bigger assignment. 1 Peter 4:1 says, "Since therefore Christ suffered in the flesh, arm yourselves with the same way of thinking." Know that there's going to be trials and temptations. We're going to run into tests along the way, but they do not have to overwhelm us. We have to flex our muscles and respond in the biblical way. So what happens when you go to the gym and you're doing all the right things there, but at home you're eating a bunch of junk food? Do you see progress? No. At best, you might maintain where you're at. At worst, you're not going to successfully build muscle and you might continue to gain body fat. So, in liking that to the spiritual life, when we're in this training ground and God is trying to grow us and build us, it is important that we're feeding our spirits the right food. If we're living on food of the world, the shows we watch, the music we listen to, the books we read, the people we hang out with, the places we go is what's feeding our spirit, then we are never going to overcome these spiritual challenges that God gives us or allows for us. We're never going to overcome them and move to the next weight class so we can step into what He has for us. We have to be spending time with God in His Word and pursuing Him, so that we can be strong enough to overcome the challenges that are coming at us as we are being trained. And when we get to that point, God will release us into what He has for us and allow us to step into that new promised land, that new adventure that He's called us to, that we had to go through the wilderness to get to. So remember, God is crafting you. He is molding you into the strong vessel, ready to lift more, achieve more, and glorify Him more. Are you ready to go lift some spiritual weights today? Thanks for joining me. If you found this beneficial, please hit that like button, drop me a comment, subscribe up top, and share it out. Let's get everybody growing with us.